Hey everyone, so I want to talk about fine-tuning, kind of what that is, fine-tuning an AI model, and why you might not want to do it and why you might. Anyhow, so fine-tuning an AI model is essentially taking an AI model like ChatGPT, or even some of the open source ones like Falcon 40B. There's tons of them out there, and essentially taking some additional data. Maybe you've got 10,000 pieces of data, internal company data, or whatever it is, and you want to feed that back into the AI and kind of have it have a memory about that data. So when you ask the questions, you get a response. Okay, so why might you not want to do that? Well, it sounds really appealing because now it's going to know that data. But the problem is it still knows all the other data, right? And it's going to kind of incorporate its previous knowledge, and some of these have been trained, with 40 billion parameters. It's going to have some previous knowledge that's unrelated to what you just fed it. So people kind of get hung up on this, like, I want to go train it so that it knows my information, which is great, but it doesn't just know your information. The only way to get it to not know your information is to tell it, is to feed it, pretty much the data that you want it to answer. Ask it a question, and then get that response back. And you have to tell it, if you can't find it in the context in the data that I just gave you, don't try to answer the question. Right? So that's kind of what we do at IntelliChat is we say, hey, here's a question, here's the data we want you to use, answer the question. If you can't, don't. And then we'll be like, answer it in Spanish or something like that. So oftentimes that's going to be the better way to utilize it. But if you're a large company and you've got, 50 billion pieces or 5 billion pieces, whatever it is, of historical data, which you maybe not billions, but millions, utilize it. And it's certainly worth trying a fine tune, depending on your use case and depending on how you use it, especially if you're using it internally, where it's not something that's out there in the wild, but in most cases it wouldn't be with a fine tune, then it might be a good use case for you. But if you're just, sitting on 500 or 5,000 or even 50,000 pieces of content that is your own internal data that you want to be able to ping and ask questions to, fine tuning is almost certainly not going to be the best approach unless you without getting some hallucinations from the AI model.